Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson. Welcome to Daily Tarot and Rune. Hope you all had a great weekend. Well, I can't shuffle for crap today, but whatever. We finished putting in the last bed, I think, that hopefully we're ever going to put in. We had to cut down some trees to make it so our TV would work. We got direct TV, and so we had to actually have them come out, and they redid it for us, which was nice. But between that, what they did, and us taking out some trees, we can actually watch television now. So anyway, today's the full moon. It's the full flower moon. And I think what I'm going to do, I always like to do something on the full moon. I work a lot of magic on the new moon. But if you want something big to happen, new beginnings, whatever, the full moon, you can make use of those energies. I think that, we have a lot of conflict and unrest, and people are not happy, and anyway, people are not getting along with one another. So I thought I would do I like to always work positive magic on the full moon. So I thought I would do a spell for healing differences and in creating care toward others, influencing that. It's basically an alignment of soul energy is what it'll ultimately be, to bring all that into alignment. I'm going to do it at 7 o'clock hour. 7 p.m. is from my grimoire. It's good for diversity and healing of differences. Well, see there, I dropped another one. Well, strength. It's rumored that if you drop a card, that's your card. So we'll think about that. We'll see what I draw ultimately. Maybe I'll draw strength again. Or maybe I'm throwing my strength away, huh? Dropping it on the floor. But anyway, I'm going to do that, I think, tonight. 7 p.m. Pacific time. But you can do it at 7 p.m. if you want, anytime. But if you want to align with my energies, you can do that. You can do it however you do it, whether it's in form of a prayer, or whether you just cast your intention, you get quiet, or you go through some ritual like I'm going to do. I use planetary squares and seals a lot. I like sigil magic. And so I'm going to use, since it's Tuesday, I'm going to use and it's a Mars day, I'm going to use Mars's seal. Seals stop forces, squares invoke them. So I want to stop the negativity. Mars can be kind of, fiery, and maybe we don't listen, whatever. But I want to stop that. So I'll start with that seal, and then I'll use the Jupiter square and the Venus square. Right now, Jupiter is by the moon at night, and Venus is over on the other side. So it's like they're looking at one another. And so I thought I'd take advantage of those energies, Jupiter's expansion. So we want to increase love and harmony and healing. And Venus, of course, is love and harmony and healing. So I thought I would work with those squares. First, to stop it with a Mars seal, planetary seal, and then draw out the squares for both Jupiter and Venus. I'm going to anoint my candles with Mother Goddess oil, so that we want to get as much into this as we can. And then I'll just hold space, or I'll write up some chant that I'll use, and maybe repeat it 9 times, multiples of 3. 9 is completion, so who knows? Send that intention out into the world that it's okay to love each other. So, okay. Well, I'm going to do something I've never done before. Hang on. Okay. I thought I had my rune bag over here, but I didn't. It was over there. I'm sorry. So we'll do one more shuffle just because of that, because my lack of organization this morning. We'll count 13. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. Oh, well, you know, court card, Knight of Wands. Knights are a real active presence. They're usually the young warrior, as opposed to the king, who's the wise guy, you know, who's lived his life, who's the ruler, who you know, the knight. And because it's wands, you know, he's going to be willful. You know, you can see his horse, his steed is rearing back, and he's probably helping him to do that. So, you know, he's going to go off into battle. Well, you know, maybe that's a little, you know, maybe that's what we're doing a little too much of. So the Knight of Wands. So wands again is fire. It's the fire element. It's being a court card. It can either, sometimes it's known as the prince, depends on the deck. Like in Thoth Tarot, it's the prince. But again, you know, the Knight of Wands is going to be somebody of integrity. You know, he's a knight. He's going off into battle. He's going out there to protect people, and so he's the warrior. He's practical at times, but at times he can be passionate and get into it when he needs to. But again, this can either indicate somebody that you're encountering when a court card comes up, or it can indicate the qualities therein. So maybe this is talking about, are we a person of integrity? Are we looking before we leap, or are we just jumping into the fray? So the idea is to maybe think about that and not be so pushy, or you know, take a measured approach before we just jump into something. I don't have my magnifying glass, so I can't see for sure what all these little designs are on his clothing. Sometimes that's significant in tarot. When you see things like stars and moons and, you know, other kinds of things, then you can actually, you know, interpret that as well. So, but yeah, I mean, the horse almost seems suspended in midair, so it's almost like they're waiting. Except they're not. You know, they're getting on with things, and I think that's the whole point. Sometimes we need to wait for more information. One of the things I think I talked about last week was our emotions are on a wave, and so sometimes you just need to wait until, you know, to get out of the peaks and the valleys before making decisions. So here, you know, the Knight of Wands may be on the precipice of something, but the idea is to just be sure that your will is not getting out of control. You know, that's all. But by all means, go forth, do something. We'll let the one rune come out here. Oh, well, again, we've chosen Perth Row. Well, the runes have chosen Perth Row. Perth Row is again the cup from which runes are cast. It's unknown. It's the role of fate to determine men's lives and women's. It's the 14th rune of the Elder Futhark. Again, it's a rune of change. It's a water rune. It can be about childbirth. Let's see. this was it. Oh, it's also about the Norns of fate. So it's the power of the Norns to decide men's fate. Looks like I've got chat on here. That's the first time. Oh, cool. Could it be he's coming forward? Yeah, definitely, definitely. Although directionality is sometimes important in tarot, and in a sense, he's looking backward. You know, if you were to have another card, I wonder if I can show that here. That's showing something looking at somebody. Well, here, this one here, the two of wands. Here you can see he's also looking in the same direction, and to the left would be, in theory, the past, and to the right would be the future, but not necessarily. I mean, he's just going where he's going. So sometimes directionality it matters, but I don't know that it does in this case. So anyway, oh, I guess they've just been randomly replying. Okay. Well, anyway, it was something interesting to talk about. So anyway, so basically we're talking about chance here and the mystery of the unknown. The thing is that if we don't look before we leap, then the unknown is going to hit us in the face, right? So maybe what this is telling us today is to understand that there's cause and effect in what we do. And we need to be really clear on what that is. Look before we leap. Think before we speak. What is going to be the effect of our actions? What will be the effect of our will today? Are we going to do it with integrity, or is it going to be something else? With respect to how this plays into tonight's full moon spell or magical working, my goal tonight was to, healing differences so that we can come together in unity and remember that we're a family, we're one family, and to do things that respect that fact. And so I think that sometimes, you want to affect change because you're not so comfortable with the unknown. You look at how, anger pops up so much these days. Things are happening in our world that don't seem to make sense, that people's rights seem to be interfered with. Compassion seems to be at a minimum. And so when we think about, so if you're going to do something tonight at 7 p.m. like I am, to cast some intention for something positive to happen, maybe we can think about, in terms of healing differences, what is the effect of our will on what is the effect of our will on how we engage with others? Is that will going to foster the healing of our differences between each other, and to see one another as part of our one family, or are we going to just jump in and not, even pay attention to how we're coming across? And so maybe today, since it's a Mars day, it's a Tuesday, and we can use that willful energy to cast the intention for healing. Make that energy work for us instead of against us. So I think that's it. I think that's all there is with this. We've talked about Perthrow before, and again, directionality is also important here. You can, here we're it's kind of the directionality of our intent. If it was like this, it could be like I'm going upward toward the moon. But the other thing about Perthrow is it can be very expansive, and so I like that that's here today. You just don't know, and you have to trust that everything's going to work out. Otherwise, I don't know how we put one foot forward, in front of the other. So think about maybe coming together 7 p.m. tonight and bringing that energy together for healing and a more effective use of our will going forward. So, in any event, have a lovely Tuesday, and you know, go plant something in your garden if you can. And since it's the full moon, you might have a frost warning. So we're going to be down to about 34 tonight. So we'll be covering the tomatoes. So again, the unknown. Perth row is it's called frost blankets. We're going to manage the unknown. So in any event, you all have a wonderful day and blessed be.